There is a new big lie making the rounds, one that is so toxic we need to take a moment to call it out.
Aha, that's the big lie, systemic racism. The left, it's always committed to use this case and any instance of white cops having bad interactions with black Americans to reinforce the same big lie, mainly that America is a systemically racist place. It's a country where black people are targeted and in constant danger. They can never get ahead. So that lie, what does it do? It drives us apart.
Laura Ingraham, her only expertise in big lies is that she tells so many of them. But let's be real. We understand what's going on in America. As the prosecutor said in the Derek Chauvin case, believe your eyes and listen to what the families of George Floyd and Daunte Wright have been going through. We know they're not alone.
We want to make sure that other families don't have to go through this. You know, I mean, come on. Why do we have to keep going through burying our babies? I sat up all night staring at the ceiling thinking, oh my gosh, this is really happening. Why do we have to keep going through this?
It was a motion picture, the world seeing his life being extinguished. And I could do nothing but watch, especially in that courtroom over and over and over again as my brother was murdered. I'm going to put up a fight every day because I'm not just fighting for George anymore. I'm fighting for everybody around this world.
But let's be real. How can you hear that and doubt what's going on? But it's not just Laura Ingraham. How about Tucker Carlson, who in the wake of the Derek Chauvin verdict showed us all what's under the hood?
The jury in the Derek Chauvin trial came to a unanimous and unequivocal verdict this afternoon. Please don't hurt us. The jurors spoke for many in this country. Everyone understood perfectly well the consequences of an acquittal in this case. After nearly a year of burning and looting and murder by BLM, that was never in doubt.
But let's be real. Tucker Carlson's anger wasn't about the actions of a police officer who murdered a man, but about the guilty verdict. Or as Carlson, Fox's chief white power correspondent, described the decision, please don't hurt us. Now you can call all of this an act or a shtick, but these big race-baiting lies have been spreading like a cancer on the far right. They are dangerous, and they've reached the halls of Congress. Case in point, Congresswoman Marjorie Taylor Greene of Georgia, who tweeted Tuesday night after the verdict, D.C. is completely dead tonight. People stayed in and were scared to go out because of fear of riots. Police are everywhere and have riot gear. BLM is the strongest terrorist threat in our country. That's a lie. Let's be real. People were not hiding in their homes that night. I went out, I had a burger, it was delicious. But this member of Congress has a clear record of stoking racial tensions, like her Anglo-Saxon America First caucus, apparently confirmed by her staff before she abandoned it. But let's be real about Greene's big lie. The reason why the nation's capital has resembled a war zone over the last few months is because a pro-Trump mob that included white supremacists attacked the Capitol. Last month, Trump's hand-picked FBI director warned about the rising number of cases of white supremacist violence.
When it comes to racially motivated violent extremism, that number, again, number of investigations and number of arrests has grown significantly on my watch. And the number of arrests, for example, of racially motivated violent extremists who are what you would categorize as white supremacists last year was almost triple the number it was in my first year as director.
No matter how hard they try, they can't hide from the big lie. And it's important to keep calling it out. Trump did not win the election. He lost the election. His supporters stormed the Capitol, and then they tried to blame everybody but themselves.
I knew those are people that love this country, that truly respect law enforcement, would never do anything to break a law. And so I wasn't concerned. Now, had the tables been turned, and Joe, this got me in trouble. Had the tables been turned and President Trump won the election, and those were tens of thousands of Black Lives Matter and Antifa protesters, I might have been a little concerned.
Right from the start, it was zero threat. Look, they went in, they shouldn't have done it. Some of them went in and they're hugging and kissing the police and the guards. You know, they had great relationships. A lot of the people were waved in, and then they walked in and they walked out.
Just try for a minute and offer some constructive ideas to reform policing, and the Tucker Carlsons of the world don't even want to hear it.
It was excessive, and it shouldn't happen. And what I'd like to say,
the guy who did it looks like he's going to spend the rest of his life in prison. So I'm kind of more worried about the rest of the country, which, thanks to police inaction, in case you haven't noticed, is like boarded up. So that's more my concern. But I appreciate your coming on, Ed Gavin. Thank you. Nope, done.
Done. But let's be real. These big liars are trying to distract you. If they claim to be more afraid of this,
Black lives matter. Black lives matter. Black lives matter.
then they are of this, or even this.
Well, you got him down, man. Let him breathe, at least, man. I can't breathe. I've been trying to help out.
Then it's pretty obvious where the big lies are coming from. They're coming from the big liars who are guilty as charged.